The pit stop is vital to every race team's success. Pull off the track, let your team go to work.
Outside, clear.
Change all 4 tires, fill the fuel cell, and make needed adjustments, all in 8 seconds or less.
Hey. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whatever time of the day you're watching, maybe you're watching live, maybe you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, watching Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Pits Are Open, brought to you by Speed Sport, your number one-stop shop for all racing news. Speedsport.com, speedsport1.com, their streaming service. Also speedsport2.com. Also brought to you by Redline Ace, your one-stop shop for all automotive racing graphics. They do it all. Cars, helmets, haulers, hero cards. They do it all right in Speedway, Indiana, right by the heart of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Will Marotti, your host, Alex Smith, our undaunted producer, engineer. Hello, Alex. How's it going? How are you feeling? You've been a little under the weather lately, huh?
I'm here and breathing.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. We got a great show for you today. Some great guests. We're going to do a sponsor spotlight in just a few moments with a great sponsor, great friend of the show, and we love what they do, America's Christian Credit Union. We'll talk about in a few minutes. And then after the bottom of the hour, we're going to have on a really great story. He is a United States Marine Corps veteran, wanting to get into the world of racing. He made his ARCA debut in 2024, and I'm so impressed with him. And you're going to meet Chris Tate is the driver's name. You're going to meet Chris after the 4:30. And then I don't think this is too premature to say. I'm not going to give you the whole story, but I'll give you a part of it. Next week will be the last live broadcast we produce for this show. We're still producing, by the way, with Kurt Hansen, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Mountain Time, Race Central Unplugged. Kurt's been a broadcaster for decades, and we produce that show for him. I get to be the co-host, which is a lot of fun. And so we get done with this show, we take a couple minutes, and we jump back into Race Central Unplugged. So that's on, and you can go to Race Central, racecentral.live to see that live on his website, or you can go to Race Central media on YouTube, and I think Facebook. So do that. But I think next week will be our last live broadcast show, and I'll tell you why. I can't tell you the whole story, but we're going to be moving to another platform, and I'm excited about it. I hope we can say it for sure 100%, the timing of it next week. But we'll still come back on YouTube and Facebook, but it won't be live. It'll be recorded. So, and the other thing I want to encourage you about, we're going to get some shirts. We're going to maybe a shirt and a hat order. Pits Are Open. Particularly if you're going to PRI. If you're going to be in PRI in December, we'd love to see you walk around with a Pits Are Open shirt. It'd be so cool. So I'm going to tell, here's how you can bring it to our attention that you could be interested in a hat or a shirt. If you go to our website, thepitsareopen.com, thepitsareopen.com, you'll pull up our host there, our website. And at the bottom, and I just want to see it now, I'm going to check it and see if it works. I should check and see if it works, right, Alex? That would make sense, right? Well, you know, they say, in journalism, it's never ask a question you don't already have the answer for, right? So I learned that a long time ago. So I should have the answer for that. But I'm sure it is. Let me just go there. Bear with me.
How many times have I told you ask, well, will it work? I said, it should.
It should work.
Yeah, it should work, but whether it does is another
here
story.
it is. And all right, so I want to thank our friends at Podpage for hosting our website. All right, so I am accurate. So if you're on your phone or computer, you're going to go on and you're going to see at the bottom right-hand corner. Do it right now, pitsareopen.com. You're going to see at the bottom right-hand corner a circle, a purple circle with a microphone symbol. So if you're with your phone or you have a microphone that works on your computer, you press that, you click on that microphone button, and you leave us a voicemail. Tell us who you are, what would you like a hat, would you like a shirt, what size shirt, and we'll get back to you. That's how we're going to do it. We're not going to do it with emails or anything. We're going to do it with voice messages. So you go to our website, thepitsareopen.com, hosted by Podpage, and then you'll see right at the bottom, whether, again, your phone, I don't know if you can see that. You can't really zoom in on
kind
that.
of
But
the one-eyed, one-horn flying purple circle.
yeah, there's a purple circle, either laptop or phone, at the bottom right-hand corner with the little microphone symbol. You click on that, and you literally, like you would, leave us a voice message. That voice message will come to us, and we will get back to you. If you want to leave us your email on that or a phone number to call, we will get back to you. We're going to start taking shirt orders here in anticipation of our appearance at PRI. Okay, couple of things real quick I'd like to mention. When Roger Penske bought the IndyCar series in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, soon thereafter, you started hearing talks, little whispers, if you will, that he was going to require that all IndyCar teams also fielded Indy Next, or formerly Indy Lights teams. And then COVID hit, and that kind of went to the wayside. Well, it's an interesting thing that's happening now, because now you're seeing a lot of owners, a lot of teams starting to form alliances with Indy Next team. Now Andretti Cape had an alliance for a couple of years. Apparently that's over now, because Ed Carpenter Racing has made an alliance with Cape, the Cape brothers, also with Jay Howard Development, which races the lower series, the Pro 2000 and Pro 2000. So Carpenter has aligned with them, and I know there's money involved. Has to be money involved. AJ Foyt, who's never fielded a Next team, a Lights team, has now joined with HMD Motors. Of course, Don Cusick has agreed to an alliance with HMD Motors. Chip Ganassi's already running Next cars. Uncos, who has been champions in the development series, they're running Next cars. It's starting to get widespread, and I think right now the only two I can think of that aren't doing it is Penske, oddly enough, and Dale Coyne Racing. Everybody else is either running their own Next cars, as Andretti is, or they are in an alliance with someone. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the season. All right, it is time. It is time to, I want to first recognize one of our great sponsors, but then we'll bring our guest in. This segment is brought to you by America's Christian Credit Union. If you're looking for a smart, faith-aligned way to grow your savings, listen up right now. America's Christian Credit Union is offering a 12-month certificate at one of the highest return rates in the nation, 4.5%. Limited time offer. It's for new credit union members only. You can get started for little as $1,000. You can put up to $1 million in there. It's called a term share certificate, similar to a CD, but with a mission. So don't wait. Jump in now before the rate drops. AmericasChristianCU.com/pits. AmericasChristianCU.com/pits. We want to get credit for that. So you know that you can do that. And it's protected, federally insured by NCUA. Is America's Christian Credit. And speaking of the credit union, we just happen to have somebody with us today. A good friend. Frank is here. Frank Clement is here. And I've known Frank for several years. And we're first time get to welcome on the show. Frank, how are you?
Doing well. I was trying to figure out how much time I had to see if I could actually request my shirt and hat, but I thought, I should probably wait until afterwards. So
yeah, that's open. That's 24 hours a day. You can press that little blue button and leave us a voice message.
All right, I'll come back to that one then. But I definitely want the shirt, so don't forget about me.
Well, good. No, excited. I got to tell you, I've really enjoyed knowing you and working with you guys. And tell us a little bit history-wise about the credit union and how services you offer and how you function and stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we were founded back in 1958 by 5 pastors. We're headquartered out here. That's right. Yeah.
Let's go pastors.
So, there were these 5 Nazarene pastors in Southern California, and what they found was that they were not getting a great shake at the local banks. Pastor Will, I don't know what your experience has been, but what they were finding was, if they went to get a loan, banks are always looking, well, what's the source of income that you're going to use to repay us? Right. And they say, okay, so let's see, you're telling me that you get paid when people show up on Sunday and put money in a little basket, right? Is there a contract? I know you got your little pledge envelopes, but how do we know for sure, that you are going to get paid and can then pay your car loan back or pay your home loan back? And so they said, you know what, we think we can do better. Instead of going to these banks and getting run through the ringer, why don't we just pool our resources and start a credit union? And for anybody out there who's not familiar with credit unions as a concept, credit unions are financial cooperatives. And so rather than, there being like an owner and then a customer base, it's actually one and the same, because credit unions serve their member owners. So we are only owned by the people who bank with us. There's no, third party that has a stake that we have to, skim off dividends for. And so the cool thing is that we get to return all the benefits right back to our members. But we were founded back in 1958 by pastors. And today we have over 120,000 members all over the country. We have members in all 50 states. We have, churches in the middle of Alaska that bank with us. We got families in New Hampshire that have, adoption loans with us. So we're blessed to serve a lot of folks here in the American church.
Well, and I think that's so remarkable because you're located in California, but yet you've got clients all over the country. So how does that work? Like I have an ATM, right? So how do I use my ATM if I don't want to have to fly to California to use the ATM? How do I do that?
That's true. And as much as I'd love, to have you come visit, that would be an expensive ATM trip. Yeah. So, increasingly people are just doing their banking on their phone, right? It's funny because we'll be at events and people will say, where's the nearest branch? And we'll say, when was the last time you went to a branch? And they'll be like, I don't really remember. So it's interesting to just see sort of the shift in how people even engage with financial institutions. But one of the beautiful things, so, a credit union is a financial cooperative, but then all of the credit unions here in the US actually band together so that we can have a shot at competing with those, the big banks. And so there are about 5,000 participating credit union branches. So you could go to a credit union right there in your own town, and they would serve you on our behalf. And then if one of their members happened to be in Southern California, we would do the same. And so there's about 5,000 of those participating branches. And then there's over 30,000 fee-free ATMs. So, most Wawa, 7-Eleven, Circle K's, plus all of those participating credit unions, you go to any of those ATMs and there's no fee.
So when you say servicing, Frank, all right, the ATM's a separate issue. 30,000 of them ought to be one close by you. When you say servicing, could I make a deposit if I wanted to at one of those credit unions?
Yep.
Wow.
And let's say somebody sends you a check for some reason. They don't have Zelle or Venmo, so they send you a check. You could take that to one of those branches. Now, I wouldn't even do that. I would just do that on my phone because we've got the remote deposit capture. And so if somebody sends you, and so increasingly, there's not even that many good reasons to go to a branch. Yeah. But, if you're in one of those situations where maybe you're going to go buy a car and you have to get a few $1,000s, for your down payment for the car, you could go in and you could get that cash, or you could get a cashier's check. So those kinds of things where, it's once in a blue moon, but every once in a while you need to go into a branch. That would be an option.
So here's another question. So, when you're dealing with commercial lenders, you hear acronyms like FINRA, these insurance. So you guys are covered by NCUA. Who is right. NCUA? Talk to us about that.
So it's the National Credit Union Administration, and it's sort of the credit union version of the FDIC. So I don't even remember what FDIC stands for. So
Federal
banks,
Insurance Corporation.
Federal Deposit, maybe it's Federal Depository Insurance Corporation. Okay, exactly. So the FDIC covers bank customers up to $250,000, right. And then the NCUA covers credit union members up to $250,000. So it's the same level of coverage, both from the federal government, and then we actually take it a step further because we want to give our members peace of mind, and so we actually pay for private insurance on top of that. So all of our members get $250,000 in federal insurance and another $100,000 in private insurance from a company called American Share Insurance. And so our members are all covered just standard default. No, you don't have to ask for it. It just comes as part of the relationship. Okay. You're $350,000 in insurance coverage.
Wow. That's pretty good. So, how about like monthly fees? Are you competitive with monthly fees and stuff for checking accounts, stuff like that?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Our basic checking account has no fee. The other thing that I'm really excited about is we serve a lot of ministries. So we serve churches, Christian schools, parachurch ministries. And so faith-based nonprofits can actually have a fee-free checking account. So we have a ministry checking account that we offer, and there's no monthly fee on that. So we have a few Christian-owned for-profit businesses, and they're paying, I don't know, $10 a month or something.
Sure,
But
sure.
for our ministries, we understand that basically every penny that comes in is going to get deployed toward ministry. We don't want them wasting, those tithes and offerings paying a bank fee. We want them to be able to put that money into the ministry that they exist to do.
So how about stuff like this? Like, so on my day job is I'm a pastor, I pastor
Yeah.
a church, but I am involved in motorsports, and usually when there's sponsorship deals back and forth, they're wire transfers.
Yeah.
And I would go to my branch to do a wire transfer, right? Either to check on the reception of it or to send one. How does that work with you guys? Do you guys do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. In fact, this may not be as relevant for your particular use case, but we just set up a new program that makes it easier for ministries to wire money internationally, because a lot of our ministries are working with overseas, missionary agencies. And so trying to get the money in the hands of the missionaries can be a real challenge, especially if it's in some of these more sensitive countries.
Yeah.
But we understand that that's important for people. And so,
Sure.
you typically, honestly, what you can do is, for us, you just call us up, or you can initiate the wire transfer on the phone or online. But yeah, we're doing, many, many wires every single day.
Sure. And I know over the years it's gotten harder to wire money because you have to give so much backup. You're not a terrorist. You're not money laundering through a Saudi, but it's crazy what you have to go through now. But that's just what the world has become.
Before we move on from that point, I want to say something, because one thing that we encounter is people, when they join the credit union, they haven't opened a new bank account, let's say in 20 years, right? They've been with the same other bank or credit union for a long time. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I want to join America's Christian Credit Union. And then we start asking them for all this information. Now, part of that is regulatory. Part of it is that over time, the federal government has required us to gather more and more information at the time of opening, because remember, we are insured by a federal agency, by the National Credit Union Administration. So if we're not making sure that you are who you say you are, and then we incur a loss and the NCUA has to bail us out, that costs them money. So they're, like any good insurance company, they want to know that we are operating, safely and soundly. But the other thing is, we do it to protect our members. And people don't always buy that. They're like, oh, come on, can't you just, make this faster and easier? Well, a couple weeks ago, some guy he somehow tapped into a lady's home equity line of credit and was drawing out tens of thousands of dollars. And we caught it and we shut it down and we got all the money back.
Wow.
But there are some sick people out there, and we're seeing a rise in elder abuse, where people will basically, I'll say befriend an older person and then try to open an account on that person's behalf. And then, so it's all that to say, fraud's a big thing. And with the internet and, the dark web and people being able to buy, your social security number and all that, we take that really seriously. And I just want people to know that that's something that is really close to our heart, making sure that our members and their money is safe.
Certainly it's as bad as it's ever been. I've got one account where I've had my ATM hacked 3 times, my card.
Wow.
In the last 18 months. And, that's a hassle because you got that number maybe attached to people you're paying bills with, and then you got to go through the whole. All right, so when I sign up with America's Christian Credit Union, am I going to get like an ACCU debit card?
Yeah, you'll get your ACCU debit card. If you're the kind of person who uses a credit card, we have a great Visa program. We even have you can do the rewards where you get all the points, but there also, we have a ministry give back. And so there are some folks who like the idea of knowing that when I use my credit card, it's actually accruing points that will be distributed to ministries here in the U.S., to be able to spread the gospel and help people in need. And so we have, there's something for you. There's something for the ministries that we support. And we just, our whole thing is, you think about in the book of Acts, right? This idea that the first century church, everybody had everything in common. Well, we're a financial cooperative, right? So you've got some people who are in a position where they say, I just need a safe place to park some deposits. Perfect. Bring them on over. We'll pay you a really good rate.
Sure.
Then there are other people who say, we're gonna adopt a child. We need an adoption loan, or we're gonna buy a new minivan, or maybe our church needs a construction loan, and we can take member deposits and use that to create a loan for that ministry, for that family.
And the
so
thing
we
is,
are,
you understand ministries. You understand church.
Yes.
Banks and churches notoriously don't get along
Mhm.
for that same reason. Well, how are you proving to us that this is your income? Well, how do you know it's going to come in? Well, I'm just praying on it. I don't really know. So you guys do a great job of that. Hey, hold that thought for 1 minute because I want to share some love with another one of our great sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Schaefer Oil, Schaefer Manufacturing, America's trusted leader in oils and lubricants since when? 1839. Holy cow. If you want maximum performance and protection for your engines, fleets, equipment, Schaefer delivers. Their advanced lubrication reduces friction. They run cleaner. They last longer, saving you money with fewer breakdowns and less downtime. That's why professionals in trucking, farming, racing, industry all turn to Schaefer. So don't settle for average. Give your engine the premium care it deserves. Learn more about it at SchaeferOil.com. That's SchaeferOil.com. We're joined by one of our great partners, America's Christian Credit Union, Frank Clement. Frank, so great to have you on. So tell us about the adoption. How'd you guys get into helping people with adoption? This is amazing.
Yeah, so we started this, the program officially launched in 2009. And in that time, in the 16 years that we've been doing it, we've done over 2,500 adoption loans. But the impetus for this was that, it was really cool. Around that time, more and more pastors, I think, were getting clued into just the issues with the foster care system, all the children who didn't have permanent loving homes. And so you had pastors who were willing to talk about that from the pulpit, and you have congregants who are saying, oh my gosh, we need to do something about this. We, as believers, God adopts us, and we need to do the same for these children who need a home. And so there's been a really cool rise in interest in adoption within the church here in the U.S., but it's insanely expensive. And so we were hearing from pastors, we were hearing from churchgoers. We even started getting connected with Christian adoption agencies, and they're saying, there's lots of kids who need a home. There are lots of parents who want to adopt, but it costs $30,000 to $50,000 for a private adoption. And a lot of people, they're willing, but they don't have the money. And so then you've got this dilemma, right? You could say, well, we'll raise the money and it might take us 5 years, but guess what? In 5 years, we're 5 years older, a little bit less energy, a little bit harder to chase after a toddler, or we could do it now and we could get a loan. Just, you finance your car, you finance your house. Why not finance the cost of the adoption, bring that child home, and then pay it off over the course of, 5 years. But we didn't just want to offer a loan. We wanted to make sure that the loan was appropriate for the needs of families who were engaging in adoption. And the reality is, adoption's expensive, and that comes at a major toll to the family. And so we didn't want to pile on. We wanted to reduce that burden as much as possible. And so for starters, we actually got our board to approve a lower interest rate. And the interesting thing about our interest rate is, an interest rate is a reflection of the risk. And so if a loan is secured by a car or a house, we know that if things go sideways, we can come get your car, come get your house. We don't want to, but that's,
right.
We have
that's
that
the reality, right?
Now, in the case of an adoption loan, we get this question a lot. So let me put this misunderstanding to rest. The child is not the security in an adoption loan. We will not repossess a child if you stop making your payments.
Children are not chattel.
That's right. Children are not chattel. So the loan is not secured by the child. We don't have, there's not a lien on the kid. And so.
Well, in some cases, they probably wish there was.
Actually,
come get my kid, will you?
He always jokes. He says, if you don't make your payments, we'll send you another kid.
But no, seriously, I imagine people have done this, but I'm saying this is the first time. When I heard about you guys that did this, 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, really? I thought it was like, oh my gosh, I've never even heard of that before, that you could finance adoption and what you guys do. But it's cars, it's homes. The fact that you have a CD or something like a CD, a certificate, 12 months, that's paying 4.5%. Come on. You're lucky if you get a commercial account overnight rate. If you get 5%, you're lucky today. And we're talking, you got to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it, if not millions. And you guys are doing for as little as 4.5. That's amazing.
That's right. Well, and like I was talking about before, we're a financial cooperative. There's not a separate group of owners off to the side. We're not publicly traded. We're not making quarterly shareholder reports. And so we can keep really thin margins. So we can pay really high on the deposits and we can charge really low on the loans, because literally all we need to make is enough to pay my salary and the salary of the rest of the team. We're paying salaries, we're paying for our technology, but that's it.
How many folks are there that make up
We have
employees?
about 100 employees.
About 100. Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
number. That's enough to manage few headaches for you. We only have 38, and so 38's a lot for us.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: off when we were testing off before we went on the air, we talked about people are very concerned. Colleges are very concerned.
Yeah.
The big beautiful bill is cutting back on some FAFSA allowance and administration and stuff. And you guys, again, I just learned this a year ago, that you guys will actually help parents, and some of our families now are with you guys paying for private school tuition. But you also do college as well, right? So I mean, how are you guys broadening out into those areas?
Yeah, so we do private student lending at the college level, and then we also, like you said, we have our K-12 tuition financing program. And the K-12 program, I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot, but what we found is you have basically every Christian school in America offers a monthly payment plan, right? Because if they were to say, you owe the full $8,000 on day one, you'd have 5 students. And so they know that they need to offer flexibility so that they can actually hit their enrollment goals. But then they have to manage that, right? And so they have to keep an eye on those accounts. They have to have those hard conversations. And I've just met so many school leaders who said, I didn't get into Christian education to become a debt collector, right? I don't want to spend all my time. And, sometimes for the parents, it creates confusion over, are you interested in me for my money, or are you interested in me because you want to help disciple my child?
Exactly.
And so, we looked at the situation and we said, we lend money. That's what we do. And so we can offer these tuition loans so that families are having that payment flexibility, but it removes the burden from the school. And I think we're a lot better at it in most cases. I mean, maybe there are a few schools that are really good at it, but for the most part, as professional lenders, we are very good at that. But
that's what you do, right? Yeah,
that's what we do. But the student lending at the college level, this is really important. And I don't know, how many of your listeners are in this place, either as students or perhaps they have college age students. But the big change that's happening right now is that the Grad Plus loan is going away. So that's a federal loan that's available to graduate students, and that's being sunset. Now, what that means is, one, the students have one less option for borrowing to be able to pay for their master's degree or their PhD. But it also, for a lot of Christian colleges, they're looking at their revenue and they're saying, well, last year we got $10 million in Grad Plus loans and the program's going away. Are we sure that the students who used to get Grad Plus loans will be able to pay a different way? Or is it possible that we're just going to lose enrollment? And if we lose enrollment, are we going to have to let some of our faculty go? Are we going to have to sell a piece of our property? And, I work at America's Christian Credit Union for a reason. I believe in Christian ministries. I believe in Christian education. And my big fear here is that if Christian colleges are not ready to navigate this change, we could see some of them go under. And this is happening at the same time that there's this so-called demographic cliff. So for the first time in decades, each year there are fewer people graduating from high school, fewer 18-year-olds. We're just seeing a decrease in younger people in America. And so at the same time that the colleges are losing access to a federal funding program, they're also facing a reduction in enrollment. Right. And so a lot of Christian colleges are going to face a pinch. And so, my prayer is that we can come together and find a way. And we're working with several colleges now to come up with a Grad Plus replacement loan so that their students continue to get financing to pay for their education. The schools can continue to, employ their faculty, keep their campuses, and Christian education can continue, to flourish here in America.
Just so cool. I'm so impressed with what you guys do. It really is amazing what you offer and services you provide. And thank you for taking time and being on the show today. Thank you for partnering with us. We really appreciate you a lot. And do all we can to push folks in your direction. Point them, let them know about what you have offered. So thank you so much. Frank Clement from America's Christian Credit Union. Thank you so much.
And don't forget the shirt. I want one.
Yep. Don't forget the purple button. Leave me a voicemail.
All right.
All right. Hey, we're going to do a quick promo for Speed Sport, and then we're going to have on our next guest. I can't wait. Chris Tate. It's going to be an awesome, awesome story for you. You don't want to miss this. Do not go. Wait until this promo's over, and you're going to have a very encouraging story. We'll be right back.
It's Halloween week on Speed Sport 1, and it all leads to a Freaky Friday. All day Halloween, we'll have destruction and carnage trucks from a Michigan war zone to a night of destruction. Nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat figure eight racing. And we've got the monsters. Full throttle monster trucks from Salem Speedway. The suspense builds to live coverage of the Monster Bash on the mountain from Thunder Mountain Speedway. It's gonna be a freaky Friday this Halloween. Go to speedsport1.com for details and viewing options.
All right, Freaky Friday on Speed Sport. That's wonderful. Hey, so I got to tell you, I love, I'm a racer at heart. We've been trying to do it for a long time. I tried racing. It lasted for a brief amount of time until I ran out of money. So I'm always interested in learning about racers that I haven't been familiar with before. And I have to say a shout out to our good friend Kelly over at P1 Development. Kelly brought this next guest to our attention. And what a great story. He's a veteran, United States Marine Corps, and a racer. And we're happy, we're honored to welcome for the first time Chris Tate to our program. Hey, Chris. Oh, okay. We need some volume there, Chris. Let's see. No, not yet. Nothing yet. We see you. We just can't hear you.
Oh, gotcha. There it is.
Oh, okay. There it is. Great. All right, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Better than I deserve. So let me ask you a question. You're a racer. You love racing. Made your ARCA debut last year. Very cool. How did this all work out with the United States Marine Corps? How did that happen?
So I previously moved up here to North Carolina in 2019. I had yet to race a car at that point, so I just kind of moved up here blindly to, start pursuing that. So a few months before I moved up here, I started testing over at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Or I tested at Caraway, then I raced at Myrtle Beach in November 2019, and that was my first actual race over there. So I raced that, and then COVID shortly hit right after that, so I couldn't really get a job. And, I was still only 19 at that time, so I had to go back home, and I really didn't want to get stuck working at home like my whole family did pretty much. And that's kind of what led me to the Marine Corps is as a reset in life. It taught me a lot while I was in, and it's just provided all the opportunities that I've gotten thus far.
I mean, I've got some great friends who've been in the Corps, and the stories are similar, and the experiences are similar. But why not the Air Force? Why not the Army? Why the Corps?
I've been asked that a lot, and I mean, the short answer is I wanted to prove to myself that I could do whatever I could, or whatever I wanted to. And I feel like the Marine Corps was that way. Like, it's the toughest one of them all. So you go in, you already have that mental test of, can I do this? And I proved to myself I could. So, and I believe that's one of the hardest things you possibly can do. So
where'd you do your basic?
I did it over in San Diego. So I got to see all the civilization outside of the fence.
That's good. That's good. Now you hadn't raced prior to 19 years old? You didn't do midgets. You didn't do karts. You did nothing.
I did dirt bikes. I started at 12.
So what gave you the idea? Oh, I'm going to race cars. I mean, it's like it's pretty fascinating to think about it. How did that happen?
So I've been going to NASCAR races since I was 4 years old. So I've always been a massive fan of it. And then I really never thought racing cars would be an option until I got my driver's license, and I felt like I was a pretty good driver on the roads. Sometimes not in the best ways, but yeah, I started looking online, looking on racingchunk.com of all places, and that's where I first saw the word driver development, and that kind of led to testing, or I guess it's kind of like a driving school if you look at it in a sense, but did that at Hickory Motor Speedway in 2017 or 18, and it's just kind of, just get my first time on a stock car. So, wow. But yeah, it's just kind of that, and a little too many injuries on two wheels led to it. So at least I'm still doing some sort of racing in a sense.
When I was very young, I went to Skip Barber driver school. That's where all people start at Skippy, and Formula Fords, and I loved them. But I only did it for not even quite 2 full years because I ran out of money. And then some years later, somebody gave me a driving school gift certificate. and it was at a wonderful track we have up here in Northeast, Thompson Speedway. It's a beautiful track. So I got to drive a late model car.
I think I've heard of that place.
Oh, that I'm telling you, that was a blast. I was just like, and they yell at you if you're not trying to pass too aggressively, or they're in your ear yelling at you. But that was a blast. I mean, I'm an open wheel guy my whole life, but boy, driving that late model car was a lot of fun. It really was. So you're in the Corps. You get out of the Corps. You're still wanting to race. How did the debut, the ARCA debut, happen in 2024? What led up to that?
Yeah, so it was a few personal things that happened before it. My grandmother passed away in November of 23, and that kind of led to grandkids inheriting a little bit of land. So I sold my land to my dad to basically pay for that race. Mm-hmm. And then I threw my uncle's company on there because he helped me through so many years of, dirt bike racing and really just our whole family in general. So I wanted to do that for him and just have them all be a part of it. And then the debut was originally supposed to be in Charlotte for Memorial Day weekend, and, having the tribute to service members and all that beforehand, like during the weekend was going to be huge. So I think we announced it, and then about 4 hours later, ARCA called my car owner, Andy Hillenberg, is like, "Hey, you're not approved to run that track yet." And it's kind of like that would have been good to know yesterday. But that shifted the debut to Iowa. And I'm honestly very glad it did. It turned out really well. It went a lot better, and really I was thinking it would. Came off turn 4. Checkered flag top 10, so I was thrilled with that.
Wow. I think Iowa's an easier race to break in than Charlotte. I do. Of course, every May I'm only in Everett, Indianapolis, so I never get east or west of there. I'm in Indy every May. Excuse me. So still working at it, doing some driving when you can, right? I want to give you a little tip here for an organization that you might want to check out. It's called Racership.com. It's a brand new platform that's going to debut at PRI in Indianapolis in December. Heidi Brandish is a good friend, and she has been working on this for a long time. Racership.com takes drivers, teams, brands, sponsors, kind of gives them a platform to meet up on. She calls it a dating app for motorsports. I think it's kind of cool. And so anyway, you can get on as a driver. You get on there free. No membership charge for drivers. So Racership.com. So when you get off this, jump on there and get some information on that, and I'll have Heidi talk to you. And you never know. You might find somebody that has the Marine Corps background, the Marine Corps story. Has that helped you at all, Chris? Do you think?
I think it's helped me in the public eye. As far as bringing in, partners to really see the vision. That's been the tough part. People like Kelly, he really enjoys the story. You obviously, and there's been obviously, several individuals that see the story and see the importance of it. But it's just a matter of, pitching it to potential sponsors, companies, partners, however you see it. It's a matter of getting them to see the big picture, and that's been the hardest part. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Sure. Well,
I don't know if I ever will.
I'm going to give you another name here in a little bit. So I hear you and I share a distinction. I hear you're the only active United States Marine Corps member to race in a NASCAR ARCA race. Is that still true?
Yeah. That is true.
So I'm the only active pastor ever in history to lead a team to the Indianapolis 500. So you and I share that distinction, which is wonderful. Megan Meyer is a two-time NHRA champion, and Megan has a not only tremendously helpful but affordable program to be able to guide for sponsorship. So I'm going to email you all this stuff. But I think if you can get into racership.com, there's no charge there. Get into Megan's program. I think it's like $27, $33 a month if you want to go for the master program, $33 a month. But Megan is a genius when it comes to sponsors, and she brings us her own money. She's racing NHRA, IHRA, top alcohol dragster, 2-time national champion, and she gets it done. So I want to encourage you, because I know it's hard. Finding the money is hard. Oh my gosh, and I thought when I went to Skip Barber, and I did very well in Skip Barber, I thought the next step was Indianapolis 500. Drive that Lime Rock, and I got it off the Formula Ford. All right, where do I get my fit for my seat at Indy? Right. A little did I know the long and winding road, the heartbreak of that. Mm-hmm. So what would you like to do if you could write the script yourself? We're talking with Chris Tate, you're never a former Marine, United States Marine Corps veteran, and ARCA racer. If you could write the script yourself, what would you do next? Like, you want to go to truck? You want to stay in ARCA for a while? What would you like to do?
Yes, I mean, I've been working on deals for the past year trying to get into the truck series. I got approved near the end of the last season to run, like, I think 1.25 miles and under, except for Dover. So I've been trying to put deals together to run those tracks, but now, since it's been a little over a year since I've competed, I don't know if that same approval still stands. So I probably have to do.
Once you've been approved, it's easier the second time you get approved. So yeah,
that's what I'm
sure you're going to be good.
Yeah, trucks is definitely what I want to do.
Trucks, next thing. William Byron started that way, and I got to tell you, William Byron started. Here's a funny story. So I have deep connections to Liberty University, where William went, and I went down there. Oh gosh, 7 years ago, to try to sell Liberty on an Indy Lights program. Now they call it Indy Next, Indy Lights. And I mean, we had a slick program. We were ready to go. Full livery, Liberty University, and I have know a lot of folks there. Knew the founder and his son and all that. And I get done my whole presentation and go, "Oh, this is really great. We'd love to do it, but we've committed all of our money to William Byron because he's going to go in." What? Who? He's going to go in a truck series, right? Oh gosh! Now look at him, right? Just
even more now.
Last week, right? So William Byron stole that money from me, and I was going to get from Liberty. Oh gosh! But it's hard. It's really hard. And when you get a yes, boy, I'll tell you, it's like the Hallelujah chorus you hear singing, because it's so, you got to go through so many no's to get a yes. It really is that hard. But we'd like to help you any way that we can, Chris, because I like your story. I love Kelly, so when Kelly recommends somebody, I listen. And I hope you're going to do well. And we're gonna hopefully find some help for you. But I'll email you the information for racership.com, and I'll also email you Megan Meyer's information, and I avail yourself of that. That'll help you tremendously. So
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for taking time today. Thanks for serving your country, and I'll be watching. I want to see another race truck here.
I hope so.
For not too long. And if you want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to check you out? You got a website, right? What's your website?
Yeah, so I got a P1 Web Development made website, ChrisTateRacing.com. He's done a lot. It really
nice
improves.
site. I checked it out. It's a good site.
Yours is good too. But their Instagram at Christopher Tate _
Okay.
Twitter or X is TTate54. So it's all there. You can just
go to the website, ChrisTateRacing.com. Great site. Gives all the information you need. You get one place to go for all that. Hey, Chris, thanks again. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming on. All right. Let's take another moment before we bring in our next guest here. We have, this is good. Speed Sport. We're presenting sponsor, racing fans. If you want to stay plugged in the action, there's only one place to go, speedsport.com. Speedsport1.com, their streaming service. Breaking news, in-depth features, live coverage of events across every form of motorsports. Speed Sport is your all-access pass. Whether it's IndyCar, NASCAR, race, dirt tracks, drag strips, Speed Sport brings you the stories, the highlights, the drama right to you. So don't miss a lap. Don't miss a second. Visit speedsport.com. Tune into speedsport1.com for your home everything in racing. All right. Hey, I think we got the disruptor out there, do we? The original motorsports disruptor, Kurt Hansen. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
How are you?
I'm okay. Boy, this this new computer, that camera actually looks pretty good.
Look, you look like human. You do.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll go with that for today, right?
No, you look good. It's a good picture, good shot.
Thank
like
you.
that.
I just gotta position my thing more centered.
And we can read your banner now. Your banner's looking good. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
So that's a cool story about the guy from the Marine Corps trying to go ARCA racing. That's, all he has to do is act like Cletus McFarland, put a camera in his car, and soar around like a bald eagle. Yeah. All right, I'm just trying to get lined up here since you reversed.
I like him so much. We'll help him. We'll try to help him. We're out in PRI. See if we can generate some interest in him. I think, of course, coming on Pittsburgh Open is a big step. I mean, that's your opening to the motorsport gateway of the world.
To the world.
So, we'll have to get him on Race Central Unplugged at some point too. But
sure, yeah, no problem.
So we're gonna after this show, we're gonna talk our show and we're gonna do your show. I can't wait. We're excited to do that. What's cooking out there, Kurt?
What's cooking is trying to get me centered so I look like, there we go, a little sideways. Interesting Formula One race this weekend. Just after I was saying in the last show, has Lando Norris lost his mojo? Well, obviously not. He certainly made a statement in Mexico City this weekend. Oscar Piastri, good battle back from his goings on. Max Verstappen got screwed. I mean, he definitely would have been second, but the virtual safety car came out, which nobody has any idea why. Because
can you help me understand this? Because I'm not an F1 guy. I never have been. I'm an IndyCar guy. Yeah. What in the name of God is a virtual safety car?
It's like what we're doing right now. We're virtually connected. It just means that all the corners go yellow. First, of course, yellow is in play.
Yeah.
Instead of having a car out there, because, Formula One is so concerned about his carbon footprint. You have to virtually imagine a pace car, a safety car.
Well, why not just send a real one out there?
I have no idea.
There's slightly different regulations. So I know with the virtual safety car, the speed isn't reduced quite as much. And it also allows them to resume racing at any point on the track, as opposed to at the start of the lap.
Alex is 100% right. I knew that. I just wasn't because it's boring.
Well, that's okay. You can make me look dumb because I am. When it comes to Formula One, I'm very uneducated.
It does make sense, because the safety car brings you down to almost a crawl, because the whole idea is there's rubbish. To pick up and blah, 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 blah. So, it's not quite as boring as the safety car. Yeah, and then they can drop. So, obviously, if there's a safety car, you have to complete a full lap because the safety car has to get back to the pits. So, virtual means they could drop it, 2 corners into the lap, which is what they did. They dropped the virtual safety car. So they go back to racing, which allowed Max to, but the way they did it, Max was already screwed. Yeah. So, there you go. And if he loses this championship by 1 or 2 points, boy, they could point back to Mexico City as being the game changer. So,
but see, that's my point, Kurt. I'm just so bothered by these artificial fake rules that come up, like the reason I call the show The Pits Are Open, right? Because there was a time, IndyCar, NASCAR, the pits were open. They just stayed open. You pitted when you wanted to. Then 1973, the horrible year at Indy, the worst year at Indy, and the first lap crash, then the rain, Sweet Savage crash, and the crewman Armando Turan gets killed on the pit lane trying to run to the crash site, and that's when they started talking about the concept of closing the pits. Prior to that, there wasn't. Up until like 1991, there was no speed limit for IndyCar.
No,
pit.
I can remember
you could come in $1.85 into the pits if you wanted to.
And boy, they did that.
They did. Yes.
Yeah. So, which it's a good move all in safety. Yeah, you can't have. If you look back over the last couple of years, Stephen Wilson had an unfortunate spin,
Right.
which it all came out later because they were running in qualifying and practice. The brake calipers weren't that close to the disc, so in the pit stops it was much closer. So you didn't have to squeeze the brake very hard to get a lockup, and round he goes. Can you imagine doing that at 185? I don't.
But
think
look what happens today. Every year, people are spinning the pits. Every year, somebody's getting hit, getting run over, getting their foot broken, getting their, So I mean, I don't know that it really. Maybe it makes people feel safer, but I don't know if on a practical level it really is any safer.
Well,
because,
I mean,
if the car hits you at 65, you're still going to get hurt. I mean, you're going to survive rather than 180, but.
Yeah, I mean, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
But then you throw in stages. I know I call them segments, but you call them that's artificial. Then you have red. Then you have your red flag it with 1 lap left or 2 laps left. But just let the boys race.
Well,
just
it's also race. Like competition caution, which is what a lot of series do to, especially if there's more concern with tire degradation. That's the commentators kind of wear me out with this. Tire dag.
I know.
Yeah,
they're tires. They wear out. I mean,
just call it what it is. I mean, they're trying to be all shiny and bougie and all that. It's such bullshit.
It's artificial. That's the problem. I don't like the artificial rules. I just want them to race. Just let them race. That we'll figure out who wins.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, but safety car. Alex made a good point. You could drop a safety car. 2 corners into, that lap and then race with X amount of corners to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, Max was going to pass.
Yeah.
The Ferrari.
Leclerc.
Yeah. Charles Leclerc. Yeah. But the virtual safety car came out, so he couldn't, but it came out just at the point where he was going to make the pass. So artificial.
Do you think there's the gall of FIA people that they would do that intentionally?
Absolutely.
Yes. You think so? Really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my. So, but to your point, if Max loses the championship by a point or two, there's going to be heck to pay. I'll tell you right now.
Well, it's like when he won the championship a couple of years ago. Could do the same thing to Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
They were getting tired of Lewis winning, 7 championships in a row. And Max, frankly, kind of did deserve it because a couple times up the season, Lewis put him off in a very bad way.
Yep.
So, would they do that? AFL. And that's not for the American Football League.
So let's see what IndyCar does with Alex Palou this year, because if Alex comes out, wins St. Pete and Phoenix, and he starts burnstorming again, maybe they'll stop. Hey, Kurt, hold that thought for a second. I got to give a sponsor a little bit more love here.
Sure.
Hey, race fans, when it comes to standing out on and off the track, nobody does it better than Redline Ace. Located just minutes from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, right in Speedway, Indiana. Redline Ace is your go-to for high-performance motorsports graphics, from wraps to haulers to helmets to hero cards. Redline Ace does it all. They make sure that your look is as fast as your rides look. Visit redlineace.com today. Redlineace.com. CY champions still trust Redline Ace to keep their image in victory lane. All right, Kurt Hansen, the original Motorsports Disruptor. We're going to take a break here from our show, and then we'll come back in about 5 minutes, and we will tear it up on Race Central Unplugged.
We'll chop it up. See, I have to get used to looking at myself from a different side of the screen now. So
yeah. It takes a little getting used to, but you know what? It's a better view for the folks, Kurt.
The folks.
A better view for the folks.
And without the folks,
you look great. You look great,
money.
and we can read your banner, which is wonderful.
There you go.
And George is on the premises, so we'll be switching
George.
seats from the controller from Alex to George. George in the jungle.
And good input, Alex. He was
Alex
right.
is
I knew
great.
that. But,
awesome.
It's
never be afraid to make me look dumb, Kurt. I can do it on my own, but I always appreciate the help. So never hesitate.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, see you in a while.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's it for us. Remember, next week should be our last live broadcast. We're going to be doing something Totally different. You'll still be able to get us on YouTube and all those places, but the timing is going to change a little bit. Thank you, Alex. Great job. Thank you, Frank Clement from America's Christian Credit Union. Thank you, Chris Tate, Marine Corps veteran trying to break through. Hey, check him out, ChrisTateRacing.com. You can't go. He's a great, great young man. I have just total respect for him. And then check us out, PitzerOpen.com. If you're interested in a shirt or a hat, you go to PitzerOpen.com. Phone, laptop, doesn't matter. Bottom right-hand corner, there's a little purple dot with a microphone icon in there. Click that on, and you literally can leave us a voice message. Tell us if you're interested in the shirt, how we can get a hold of you, and sizes and stuff like that. So anyway, hey, thanks so much. Great show. We'll see you next week. And happy Halloween, I guess. I don't know, right? Okay. Bye. Love you guys.